You know what I wanted to talk about this morning? I want to mention, and I know you asked me what's happening in my world. In Haiti, there's been a lot. Haiti couldn't catch a break this year at all, with so many things naturally happening, and then those with the government and other countries who have no business in our business coming into our business to add fuel to the fire. Speaking of fuel to the fire, there has been a fuel shortage in Haiti and different parts of Haiti. They haven't been able to get fuel. They have been actually out there amongst the many protests that they have been doing on the streets. This was part of it as well for the fuel shortage. So people have been fighting to get fuel. The cost of fuel not coming into the areas for people to ride their motos, which is the motorcycles, which allow people to go from point A to point B, to get people's children to go from school to here and there, because some people go to school in the city by living on the outskirts. So many reasons why fuel is very important, to get lights and things like that, because a lot of places don't have electricity. You know what I'm saying? To cook, all these things, right? So on the 13th, more than 60 people were killed after a fuel tanker exploded in northern Haiti, which is Cap Haitian. And the vehicle was involved in the accident in the city, and the victims, because remember, I was just doing a strong emphasis, is that the word? Strong push on the lack of fuel in those areas. But the victims had been trying to gather the leaking fuel when it had ignited. So they were so desperate for fuel. When that tanker flipped, they were like, "Oh, is that a fuel tanker? Let's go get that fuel. Let's hurry up because we need that. And it ended up exploding in that area, in the local area, setting so many homes ablaze, so many businesses in that area ablaze, and 62 people basically burned alive, mothers, children, elderly, all of them. So local hospitals have been overwhelmed. The local hospitals in the area were already overwhelmed, already overcapacitated, and I can't imagine what they are going through now. And those who have been injured, who are still alive, are the ones filling up the area, the hospitals. So right now there's so much that is still developing. There's so much that is necessary and needed for these local hospitals. So I've been watching as it's been going down. Prime Minister Ariel Henry said that the entire Caribbean nation was grieving after the accident, as he declared 3 days of mourning. He said, "I learned with and emotion the sad news of the explosion last night in Cap Haitian." This is what he wrote to Twitter on Tuesday. Pictures posted on social media show an intense blaze, because there was pictures and video of it at the scene of the accident. And this is Haiti's largest city. Cap Haitian is Haiti's second largest city, And they said that it looked like hell, with people walking through, burning alive. All of this stuff is happening in Haiti, and this is, like I said, just an update right now. All of this stuff is happening in Haiti, and it's really, really devastating to many people who have people in the Okap area, which is Cap Haitien, and for all of us who are of Haitian descent, who have family in all the areas that have been affected by everything, down to the earthquake, the hurricane, the loss of the assassination of the president. The government already ain't doing right. The gangs taking people hostage. There is so much that's been going on. Now, I say that to say, where are these people going to go? They tried to come here. A lot of them, so that's a story I want to add to this too. We see all the stuff that's going on, y'all. I know I talked to you guys about my cousin last week who I was trying to get to come here to sign the papers for him. And as soon as that information was, I guess, given to where he was being held, literally that night, when he was supposed to be here for 30 days, the night that I called to get the information to get him to come and stay, they shipped him off. They shipped him off, and he had to hurry up and call me and let me know that he was being shipped off. So, but they gave him a test, basically telling him, how bad is it in Haiti? And they were like, well, it's not that bad, so we're going to send you right back They told him it's not that bad,
Wow.
so we're sending you right back. So all those
Wow.
people that we did see in Texas under the border who went missing and we didn't know where they were, a lot of them were asked these, I think it was a scare test or something, a fear test, that's what it is, to see how bad is it where they're coming from, to see if they are able to go back. And as we see in these particular areas, and I'm not going to say all of Haiti is like this because there are still many areas in Haiti that people are, surviving, pushing, and everything like that. But in these particular areas, in these large cities, there's a lot of issues that are happening and that are going on. Now, this doesn't take away the beauty of Haiti, but this is actually what the people are going through and what my family is hitting areas that are going through. And so to know that there are so many people America turned away and were treating as savages and people who didn't deserve to have better lives for their children. What we see that's going on there, it always, boggles my mind for this place to be the land of the free and to be a melting pot and to be that for immigrants to come and do their thing. It's just like and make it so hard. And
not black immigrants. Black immigrants. Give us you're poor, you're tired, and you're downtrodden unless they're black or brown, specifically black.
Yep. And the woman that I spoke to, who's actually has a shelter in the Texas area, Louisiana area, excuse me, she was telling me. She said, if you don't mind, is your cousin, what kind of immigrant is he? Is he a black immigrant? She's white. So yeah, he's black. She said, is he Haitian? I was like, yes. She's like, they're making it really hard for Haitians. They're making it super duper hard for Haitians. So I don't know, but the best of luck to you.
They've been making it hard for Haitians. I mean, period. In the conversation, that's just like a standard state of how the United States of America treats Haitians. Yeah. And I mean, I don't have to tell you that. I'm saying that from an outside perspective, from a black man born in America, to see how black immigrants are treated, specifically black Haitians are treated coming to this country. America has always had a disposition of animosity. Like they just treat Haitians as if they're the worst of the worst. And it's always been like that.
Yes, and that's why I want people to understand. Like when we walk around being as cocky as we are, that's because it's like no more allowing America to tell our story for us or say who we are. If there's any news, good or bad, I'd rather it come from us. Because at the end of the day, when there's any news, good or bad, and particularly white parts of the country, they know to still continuously paint America to be home of the brave, greatest land of them all. So when I'm talking about my mother's land, I'm always going to speak of it in a different manner. There are bad things that are going on there. Just like over here, we're still talking about places like Ferguson, who for God knows how long, people got kids in high school now that were babies at the time, who when that protest was starting to happen because they still ain't got no clean water. Flint.
Ferguson was. And we got too many. Was Mike Brown. That's right.
Was Mike Brown when they killed him, and then all of these, they're killing black people here every day. Without any reason, and people are getting off. It's there's so much assassin that's happening here, and everybody want to just talk about these poorest countries on certain parts of the world, and not understand why they are this way or what's happening. Listen to what I told you guys. They saw a fuel tank in an accident flip over, and they went over it to get fuel because they were desperate for fuel. There's a fuel shortage there. They were risking their lives to get fuel to be able to take care of themselves and their areas and their children. Come on, somebody. I mean, so anywho, that's what's happening over there. The story is still developing. There are hospitals that are needing supplies. I did read that. Once I get that information, I will post it on our Like It or Not page on Instagram and on Twitter, on my Twitter page and on the Facebook page, so that people who want to know if they can assist in that particular way. Thank you guys who have been assisting throughout the year when it comes to and all the things that have been happening in Haiti, and helping them as best as you can, helping me help them as best as you guys have been doing. So once I get some
Right.
information on how they're being assisted at these local hospitals, I will let you guys know.